What it do, y'all? It's your girl Dan, and this is a bit of truth. The topic for today is what is your opinion on being a step parent or co-parent with your ex or your spouse? And today's hosts are
Hey, it's your girl O.
Hey, it's Kia.
The smiles.
all right. So on the topic for today, I would like to talk about my experience with being a step parent or co-parenting. So when it come down to me, I have a child with my 9-year-old relationship, and with parenting that child, I have no problems from my significant other. I have no problems with co-parenting with her. I could discipline her. I could say I want to go take her here, I want to go take her there. But then when it comes down to the child that she walked in with, it's a little bit different. I gotta watch how I discipline her. I gotta get approval from her to do so. And it's starting to feel like, what am I here for? I'm babysitting at this point because I can't do what I could do with my child with you versus the child that you walked in with. And it makes me feel like, then where is the other person? Because why am I just taking in this role and I can't fully complete the role? And it makes me feel less than a parent. Because with my child with you, I could discipline her. I could put her in timeout if I want to. I could take her tablet if I want to. I could say, hey, you can't go outside today, and make sure she don't go outside and you don't complain. But or even pop her if I want to. But when it comes down to the one that you walked in with, I can't touch nor do anything with, meaning hands on. I can't be hands on parent with that child. And it makes me feel less than. I got to watch what I do and watch what I say. But I've been around for within that child's life for 9 years. It's crazy to me. And I don't know if I'm the only person that's dealing with that or there's other people out here that's dealing with that, but I am confused. What do you say, Oh?
Well, firstly, when you're dealing with children and discipline and so forth, I don't believe that children should be treated differently. I'm a little bothered by, that it's okay to be one way with one child and not another way. Kids pay attention to that and it causes division and causes war between them. But that's that. Um, as far as me being a step parent or co-parenting, um, I've only experienced being a step parent once. That was my last relationship. That was a lot of things. Um, sometimes it was good, sometimes it wasn't. And what I mean by good is, you know, I got to, if I wanted to take him out, I could take him out. If I want to do things with him, I could do things with him when he's home with his mother. But, the bad part is uh, his father is special. I'll just say that. Um, he's a good dad, but because there's toxicity between him and his baby mother, which was my ex, it caused problems in our relationship. It caused problems of what I was trying to do in our home because her child was a challenge. I'll say that. He was, his behavior was a challenge and he needed structure. And it was very hard for me to imply my experience and what I thought was best for him while he was with us and outside the home. So there was no team there. We all wasn't on the same page. So that made it very hard. As far as co-parenting, uh, that with me and my kid's father, that has never gone well. I mean, we've tried, but it doesn't go well because it's, I'm not going to say it's just him, but we're still stuck in the not blaming part, but the accountability part. So because that is still going on, the co-parenting is non-existent. So it doesn't really happen. So I really honestly don't even have experience with that because my kids all of them about to be grown. And I've been separated from their father 7 years and we ain't got it yet. So yeah, that's my take on it. Anybody else?
Yeah. So for me, I've never had a co-parenting relationship with my children's father. Um, I've always given an open door and open opportunity for that to happen so that they can have, both me and their dad in their life. But unfortunately, he chose not to. So it is what it is, in that aspect. But I still remained, their mother, of course. And still did what I needed to do in regards to raising them, making sure that they didn't go without and all that. Um, it just sucks that when it comes to co-parenting, sometimes it's easier said than done. You can't force someone to be a parent at the end of the day. They have to want to do it, because when you force them, it causes nothing but friction and problems in your relationship with your child, your relationship with the other parent. So it's a lot when you have someone who just don't want to do it or chooses not to be there. So that's my take on co-parenting. When it comes to step parenting, um, I've been a step parent in a previous relationship, and I love that kid like my own. Like, obviously, there are boundaries when you are a step parent, especially if the biological parents are involved. For example, whom I was a step parent to, their mother wasn't fond of me, so when it came time to them coming to my house and hanging out with, their dad and my kids, it was always an issue because she felt uncomfortable, despite me reassuring her, like, yeah, I understand you have a problem with me. I have no problem with you. I would never disrespect or, you know, do anything to your kids that I wouldn't, expect anyone to do to mine. Like, I would never send my kids anywhere and something happened to them because of their father's partner or whomever. Like, no, I'm gonna treat them like I treat my own. When it comes to discipline in a step parent aspect, I feel like the bio parent should be the discipliner if both parents are involved. Now, if in my situation, my kid's father aren't involved, so for me and my wife, we both do the discipline. We both do the quality time. We both do the teachings and things like that. So they're not, in a sense, like, okay, we only listening to mommy because mom is not really our mom. She's not really related to us. So we only gonna listen to her sometimes. No, because me and my wife are a team. So what I say goes. What she say goes. And we're always on the same page in the aspect of when it comes to the kids in regards to like disciplining and teaching and stuff like that. Yeah, there's going to be sometimes where we may disagree on a punishment or something like that. But that's where you communicate and you talk about it and come to a common ground in regards to parenting. Now, I can be honest and say in the beginning, me being, the single mom coming in with children and she has no children, it was, don't discipline my kids. Nobody better not touch my kids. Like, if there's a problem, you let me know. I'll deal with it. That was me coming in to a relationship. But as time go on, and you realize, okay, well, I'm building with this person. This person is now my wife or husband or whatever case may be. There are going to be some things that happen in your absence that need to be addressed. No, I'm not expecting my wife to wait till I get home to, address the situation. It should be addressed right then and there. So if I'm not there and it happens, yes, address it, but definitely communicate with me what happened throughout the day. But that's my take. Smiles, what you have to say?
Well, I don't have a child yet, so I'm not familiar with the co-parenting situation. But the step parent experience, let's just say I prefer to have a child with someone that I'm married to versus coming in and no, because it's just it's not for me. It's because you're coming into somebody else's dynamic. So a lot of times you and that person don't have the same backgrounds. So y'all don't parent the same. Like maybe you had structure growing up, so you had rules to abide by, and somebody else, maybe their life was chaotic where their parents was really never home by choice or because they worked a lot. So the kid, your not the kid, but your partner ran the streets or whatever the case may be. Y'all just was raised different. Y'all could clash. Cause I'm the firm person. I like structure. I like, do your chores before you go outside. What if the other person don't feel that way? What if they're more passive than I am? That causes friction. You know what I'm saying? Then that you have to get used to the child. You have to build a bond with the child. And if the father is in the equation, you have to be cordial with him because that's his child. So it's just a lot. So I don't feel like it's for me. I feel like either it's for you or it's not for you. That's how I feel. Because you can't force a family to work out if it doesn't. And I think a lot of people force things when it comes to somebody else's child. You know, what do I have to say about that?
So when it comes down to parenting, so my thing is this, right? When I first got into my relationship 9 years ago, and she hit me with the um it's a it's a package deal, is what she
Yeah.
said to me.
Hmm.
It's a package deal. So when I said, okay, package deal, I was thinking more of I got the romantic stuff with her, and then I'm gonna get the child and warm the child up to me. So like we would go to Chuck E. Cheese and I'll spend my time with the child because this is not something that I need to do with the mom. This is something that I need to do with the child. This is what I need the child to get to know me and get to know that I am fun, but at the same token, I had that was a downfall for me because as years went on, the child felt like I was a toy to be played with, meaning that I was the person that they were supposed to go outside and jump rope with, a person that I was supposed to be able to play hopscotch with or jump rope with and or go swimming with, and we were supposed to play with toys in the swimming pool and stuff like that. And then when it came down to me saying it's time for you to go to bed, it's time for you to go take a shower, You need to get ready for bed because you got school in the morning. It was now the child disliked me because I stepped into a parent role and I wasn't even doing nothing nor touching the child. It was just guiding the child into the way that they're supposed to learn. Now, I am I want to say this. I am the child and I'm the stepchild at the same time. And then what I mean by when I say that is I had three different stepmothers. I had a stepmother when I was 7 to 10. That's my father's first wife. My father's second wife was when I was 14 to 16. My father's third wife was when I was 21 to 25, 24. Yeah, 25, 24. And they got me all in different eras. One was when I was a child, one when I was a teenager, and one when I was an adult. Now, me as a child, because my parents taught me, my mother and my father taught me and raised me as what adult says is what an adult says. You are to do what an adult says and no questions behind it. But I did what they told me to do. Certain times, I'm a defiant child. I was a defiant child. I would, you say come in when the street lights come in. I ain't ready to come in yet. You know, but that was for my father. My father would be home at that time when I did come in the street lights, and he handled it the way he wanted to handle it. I don't, as an adult, I don't agree with it, but I I shape my kids in a certain way that I don't treat them like how I was treated. I felt like my mom and my father catered more to my older sister because my older sister was on the road. She was more smart. She was more this. She was more that. And me, I was more going outside, basketball, softball, karate, Girl Scouts. I hated it. Just say that I hated it, but I did it because that's what my first stepmom wanted me to do. She dressed me in skirts on music days. I hated it. I'm just gonna say that I hated it. But I did what an adult told me to do. These kids nowadays don't respect the fact that it is what the adult says it is. And you know what I mean? The parents, if you know what I mean, for a step parent to a parent, you don't check in the way you're supposed to check in. That's my perspective on it. Check in with me. So if I say, hey, you know, so and so is supposed to, it's music day. She should wear a skirt today. And if you disagree, you tell me that you disagree now before we get this program started. Or if you feel like it's fine, fine. But if the child come to you and complain that, oh, I don't want to wear no skirt, I don't want to wear no skirt, da, 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 don't make me feel bad when we both agreed on something. If we agreed on this, then that's what we're going to stick by. And that's the problem with me as a step parent. I just feel like if me and you agree on one thing, then you should not go behind my back and try to say it's something else with the child and try to correct me. And it's like, who partnership am I on? And what ship am I on? Am I on y'all two ship? Or am I on you and me and you ship? Because it's just like, I don't know where I'm falling at. And I'm feeling like I'm falling in between two boats. And nobody is throwing me a life a life raft. I'm confused. But you tell me what you feel, Kia.
I feel like when it comes to, step parenting and things like that, and you come into a relationship with someone who already has children. I feel like children are smart as fuck. So they play off of the parents' energy, the grown ups' energy. So, example, in my house, obviously, you know, I have three biological children. My wife, she doesn't have any biological children. However, she treats them as if they were her own kids. But at the same time, say for instance, if me and her beefing or we don't agree on something, the kids walking around like, they're not on good terms, so we gonna pick a side. And they pick a side, whether it's my side or whether it's her side. Whoever they walk to and actually give them a conversation is what side they pick. And then them picking that side is causing friction because y'all don't know what we disagreeing about, and 9 times out of 10, it's something related to them because she may want to do something different from what I want to do with them or whatever the case may be. Like, I feel like when you have someone else who's coming in and helping you raise your children and things like that, I feel like it's always best to have a conversation in private. Even if you disagree with whatever they're saying, never have that difference of opinion conversation in front of the kids because they definitely for sure use it against you in the long run. Like they use it against you and it causes friction in you guys' relationship when it don't have to be. It could just be, okay, my wife is addressing the kids. I may not agree with everything she say, but I'm gonna have her back. But when we get alone, I'm gonna have a conversation with her like, I didn't agree how you talk to whomever. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna let the kids see that because then they're just gonna be like, mommy got our back. No, y'all not about to play both of us against each other. That's not about to happen. Me and my wife, we got this. We a team. We gonna jump on y'all asses together. What she say go, what I say go. So what we say go. But again, if the kids see it happening, it's all bets is off them because they're gonna be like, well, I knew mommy had my back. She ain't gonna let us down. Like, neither is mom. But because y'all think that we're going against each other for y'all, that y'all got to one up, no, that's not the case. So again, if possible, definitely never have conversations in front of, disagreement conversations in front of the kids because the motherfuckers smart as shit and they use that against y'all in a heartbeat. Go ahead, I see you.
Yeah, see, I ain't even trying to deal with all of that for real, for real. Like my youngest is 15, my oldest is 21, and I have a 19-year-old. And like I have no interest in having or playing house, I should say. Um, any relationship, including my current relationship, I don't expect them to come and play a parent role. Um, I'm not looking to live with anyone, because I still have my 15-year-old. I mean, in prior relationships, even then, like I wasn't looking for the parent role. That's never something that I wanted for my sons. Um, when I dated men, it was like, yeah, maybe they could be a role model for them, but it wasn't so much about my kids because the things that they've been through, they're not really accepting of step parents and anything like that, whether it be mommy's dating a man or mommy's dating a woman, it doesn't matter. Um, so it's kind of it's tough. So like if somebody came in, say my current relationship, she came in and said something to one of my kids, like my youngest son and my oldest is gonna look at her like she's crazy. Like, who are you? Because they just don't tolerate that. Like to them, it's like, okay, we got our mom and I got a dad. I don't need a dad. So I don't know if that's something that attitude that I caused them to have, but I want to say it's because, because of, the things that they've been through and they have experienced. But I say all of that to say this, that even though I don't want those things, I still bump heads with my current partner, because her upbringing was totally different from mine, you know, and what I feel like it should be for my kids, she feels differently. And because she wasn't there for the things that they have experienced or have gone through, she can't totally understand why I make the choices that I make. Um, but it's an ongoing battle. I'm learning because this is kind of new for me, being in a committed relationship, having someone on the outs. Like, we spend more time outside the house than inside the house. My other relationships, we all were together. Although I wasn't looking for that step parent for my sons, we still all were together. So it's fairly new to me. So that's what I have to say about that.
So to um, go back a little bit to what you said, in regards to not, wanting your partner to quote unquote be an additional parent to them. It may not even necessarily be them wanting to be a parent, but setting, you know, boundaries or a level of respect to say, you know, I'm with your mom, you know, and I see, how you treat her or whatever the case may be. It could just be, they just may be wanting to defend you, like not everybody comes in and automatically goes into straight parent mode when dealing with someone else who has kids. I personally think first, if you're dealing with someone who has kids, you should come in and build a relationship with the child first. Build that relationship so that they know that they're going to respect you on the level in which they respect their parent, not on a friend level, not on no, you know, uncle, aunt, whatever type level, but the way I respect my mother is the way I'm going to respect who she's with. When you build that relationship with the kid, they'll have that level of respect for you because they see, like, okay, well, they didn't come in just bossing me around, telling me what to do, yelling at me, telling me to go in my room, stuff like that. They're more susceptible when you build a rapport and build a relationship with them as opposed to you just coming in real strong, for sure.
So what I have to say to this, and I like what Kia said, that you don't just come in and automatically be a parent. Um, that's and you say build a relationship with them. That's what I tried to do. The child was 4 years old, so at a 4 years old standpoint, you are taking them to Chuck E. Cheese, or you're taking them to a carnival, or you're taking them LOL, or you're doing those kind of things, and what I mean, having a fun time with them, and that's what I did, and I just feel like now compared to the the child that I am stepping in for compared to the child that I have, I do not treat them no different because I was a child that felt like I was compared to my older sister all the time. I hated it. I hated it. It was like, well, uh, the older child is quiet and she likes to do art stuff and arts and crafts, and this child is just wild and she wants to run around and do this and do that. And being compared to my older sister really tore me. So I don't want my children feeling that way as well too. So I just if I get something that is blue, for one, I'll get something that's pink for the next one. But it's the same exact thing. I'm not going to give them anything different than one another because I don't want them to sit there and compare from each other. You get what I'm saying? So if one gets one thing that looks sentimental, then the next one gets the same thing that looks sentimental as well too. I didn't treat the children differently whatsoever, but I got treated differently in this sense. You get what I'm saying? I didn't treat the children differently. The only thing that I did was that my child, I would put hands on with that child. I If she was wrong, I spank her tail. But the one that did not come from me, I'm not spanking her tail. I'm going to tell her mother, and her mother gonna handle that because I can't be the cause of why that child feels away. So this is what in the LGBT community, if a person comes in with a child, a dom or a stud might feel like I'd rather have my own kid than raise that child because that child already has damage done to her. You know what I mean? And not even damage like they've been harmed in a way. It's just that damage that they have. Um, it's not something that we can fix. And then when you get and like I could show y'all like my child versus the child that I've been raising since 4 to 9. It's like it's crazy how the child responds to me. She told her mother just a month ago that she felt like I should be a toy. I'm a new fancy toy to her. That I am someone who should take her out to have fun and not a person that should be saying, well, where's your homework? Let me help you with your homework. So what is this? 1 + 1 equals what? 2 + 2 equals what? She doesn't feel like I should do that with her. She feels like her mom should do that with her. And that I am out of place and I'm only there to have fun. And I should not, if she goes off and she breaks my 55-inch TV, I shouldn't say anything. When her mother walks through the door, I should be like, yeah, the TV not working right now. Why can't I tell her that you broke the TV? Why can't I tell her that? Why shouldn't you get your tail whooped for breaking my TV? Why shouldn't you talking about mice running in your closet and all this stuff, but you got guinea pig food at the bottom of your closet, so mice automatically gonna run in there, and you saw my mice running in my closet because you got food for them. Do you got food from the pet store in the bottom of your closet? So why shouldn't they run in there? But I'm trying to fix the situation and not say nothing and not touch this and not touch that. But you are doing these things. Like, what the fuck am I supposed to do? Like, I'm sitting over here trying with you. I'm sitting over here. You wanna play Call of Duty? Okay, I'll get you your whole system, a brand new system. Nobody has used it. Nobody has touched it, and I bought it for you that you can start your own little foundation. And that's not good enough for you. That to the point where because you got upset with me because your mother whooped your tail about something that I found out about, that you start a beef between me and your mother, and it makes me into a bad predicament where I'm stuck between you and her, and then she's going to automatically choose you, so I lose my relationship. How fair is that? that the child determines if I'm with the person or not. It's crazy. But kid, you tell me what you think, cause what the
Well, first of all, it don't solely fall on you when it comes to, you know, a child that's not yours, and you coming into the relationship and you start to, do things with the kids and raise them and things like that. It don't solely fall on you. I feel like in your situation, the mom has to have your back in a sense of making sure her child knows, if I'm not here and didn't tell you to do something, that's what you do. Because firstly, you're an adult and you're grown. So no child should feel like it's okay to ever question you, question anything you're telling them to do, disrespect you, or go behind your back and be like, oh, didn't tell me to do this, but I don't want to do it because I feel like she should be a toy. A toy? You got me fucked up. I'm nobody's toy. Like, I'm not about to play with you. No, ma'am. A child should stay in a child's place at the end of the day. And as the biological parent, they should be working with you to reassure the child, like, this is, someone who's taking care of you and don't have to. This is somebody who's buying you new clothes and don't have to. Somebody's taking you to a restaurant, a toy store, an amusement park, whatever the case may be, and don't have to. Be appreciative that this person is doing for you despite even having to, because you have another parent. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of kids who do have step parents and stuff like that, they get it mixed up in a sense because they're like, well, I already have a dad. I already have a mom. What do I need another parent for? Well, first of all, yes, you have, your biological mom, your biological dad, but there's nothing wrong with having additional support. There's nothing wrong with having someone else to go to and have your back and stuff like that. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. But definitely in your situation, I feel like, she definitely could have had your back a little bit more when it came to her daughter, as opposed to just all the time taking her daughter's side. You know what I mean? Like, your daughter is a kid at the end of the day, and she's under, you said she's 4, she's 4 years old. Like, no, you may not know all of her right now because she's just growing into her personality and things like that. But pay attention.
11
That's the
now.
problem. Okay, she's 11 now. So as parents, we have to pay attention to our kids because over time they absolutely change. Sometimes for the better, sometimes for, the worse. But as long as you're active and paying attention to your kids, you know what they do and what they don't do for the most part. They may not tell you everything and they may not share everything with you, but for the most part, if you're paying attention and you observing your kids' behavior and stuff like that, there's no reason why someone else who's, your partner should come in and feel like it's you and your child versus them. They shouldn't have to feel that way. It should be, not even you and your partner versus your child, but you should always have your partner back to say, I believe you. We're going to address this situation together, or, whatever the case may be. But, go ahead.
No, I just wanted to say I had a situation where an ex of mine, because I heard earlier someone say, I can't remember who said it, but was saying that, maybe a partner just wants to help you. Okay. Well, an ex of mine didn't like how my oldest son was acting. And my kids were younger then. I think my oldest was like maybe 11, 12. Anyway, he was acting up and he got in trouble a lot that week. And she got tired of it and he talked back to me and she slapped him in his mouth. Okay. Now, I am, I've never been one of those parents where I felt like you couldn't discipline my child. Because if a child is wrong, they're wrong. As long as you're coming from a place of love. Now, that's that said. The other thing is, I'm a firm believer in the village. Okay. That's that. Problem is, I didn't create these children by myself. Just because I believe one thing is not what their father believes. So after that happened, like of course I'm not upset with her because I understand why she did it. Of course my son is upset because he's like, "Well, bitch, who are you to be hitting me in my face?" So of course that's the same attitude their dad had. So now I have to talk their father off the ledge because he's ready to kill her. You know what I'm saying? So that brings a whole other problems. And like, I think that's why my choices are the way they are today. You know, I just rather not deal with all of that because so much comes with that. And I can't control another human being. You know, yes, this is my house and what goes on in my house is my house, but I didn't make those kids by myself again. You know, whether their father is present in their life or not, he's the type of person you're not going to put your hands on his kids and he's not going to have anything to say or do about it. So just to keep peace, I'd rather not even walk that path with nobody. So I just wanted to put that out there because a lot of people are dealing with that. And, you know, it definitely dictates decisions and relationships. And, you know, I'm realizing while we're having this discussion that, yeah, it does.
So my main biggest issue that I have is that the person that I was dealing with was a single mom. So no father was present for the child that was not mine. You know what I'm saying? No father was not present. So that I was filling in where there was no other parent. You get what I'm saying? So I think the child resent me because I was getting down to the nitty gritty. Like me, when I was raised, it was no, in the 90s and the 80s, it was no talking back to an adult. It took a village to raise the 70s and 90s and 80s children. You get what I'm saying? It stopped a little bit. Like my first grade teacher, she whipped me with rulers. And it was illegal back then. When I was born, it was illegal for teachers to beat you with rulers, but I didn't know that. That was 99 to 2000. My teacher beat me with rulers. You get what I'm saying? She beat me because I didn't have my homework. So it's like if back then I like to go back to the old school way of raising kids. And um the way I was raised, I'm not saying it for everybody, but the way I was raised, it was an adult is talking, you are not to be talking. You are not to talk back to that adult. Um, if an adult told you, regardless if it was your mother, your father, your aunt, your uncle, told you to go ahead and go in the room while they're having an adult conversation amongst other adults and they're drinking and all that stuff, and you were supposed to go in the room, that was no problem because you were not supposed to see that. You get what I'm saying? Things that they were doing, you were not supposed to see. If an adult was fighting another adult, you were not supposed to see that. So that's how I planned on raising my kids. You are not supposed to be around when adults are talking, when adults are having adult conversations. But certain people, they raise their kids with openness and they expose them to things. And that's why I think these kids are out there, kid boys and kid girls are out there stealing cars and doing things they ain't got no business doing. And they getting locked up for the day and they get released during the night. It's a problem for me. You get what I'm saying? Is raising a child and co-parenting is totally different because the way I was raised and the way my partner was raised was totally different because I know someone who has a nephew who's about 15 years old and his girlfriend about 15 years old, and they allow them to spend a night with each other in the same room with a locked door. In my generation, that is a no-no. That is a no-no. You cannot spend a night with your girlfriend. Your girlfriend spend a night over here. What is wrong with y'all? I don't know what's wrong, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna say, you know what I mean, people shouldn't parent the way that they should parent, but that right there is a no-no. If you ready to be a grandma or grandfather, then do it. Then do it. If you want your new generation to pop in because you running into your 30s and you like, hey, I got a 15-year-old son or I got a 15-year-old daughter, so it's cool with me because I'm ready to be a grandma now or I'm ready to be a grandfather now, then that's on you. But for me, per se, hell no. Hell no. I don't even care how old I am. I could be 50 something years old and my child is 15. I don't care. You are not allowed to spend the night with the next soul. And co-parenting and all that options is all that stuff. If you got hands on deck, take them. Take them. If you got hands on deck, take them. But it's got to be positive hands. One that's looking for the next best opportunity for your child and what can benefit your child, and not that they're trying to hurt your child or look for the next thing to hurt your child. Like I felt like my stepmom, my first stepmom, she picked and chose what she wanted to tell my father. And for me, it's traumatizing. You know, this is one of my traumas, my family traumas. But my first stepmom, I never was taught as a kid before her, before this ass whooping that I got. I was never taught as a kid that tell an adult that, and I didn't say, you know what I mean, like pointing and saying, you're a liar. I said, you lied to me, is what I said to her. She told me she was a hairdresser. She told me to go back there and get some shampoo or something for her. I went back there and get the shampoo and stuff for her and gave it to her. And then she said, I then this will be the last thing I ask you for. And then I said, okay, cool. I went back there. I stopped playing my handheld video game. I was into video games as a kid. I played Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, any Game Boy you had it to here to go. I had it. You get what I'm saying? Because that was my occupying situation. So she tells me, hey Dan, um, this will be the last thing I ask you for. Give me the shampoo. So I give her the shampoo. I go back there and I sit back there. She calls me about 3 to 4 times before I register in my video game. You know what I mean? That someone's calling me. So I go, huh, what's going on? And she goes, can you get me X, Y, and Z? And I said, you lied. You lied to me. And she said, what? What did you say? And I said, you lied to me. You told me, get you the shampoo, and that was going to be it. And you wasn't going to bother me for the rest of the night. I got you the shampoo, and here you go calling me again. And then so she gets mad. She gets mad at me, tells my father that I said that to her. I said that to her, and I got my ass whooped that night. I was never taught as a child that I couldn't say that you lied to me. I was never taught as a child that you basically, I didn't say you were a liar. I said you lied to me. I didn't call her out her name. I just said you lied to me. And she made it seem like I called her a liar. and got my ass whooped. So that's me as a stepchild. And it really hurt my feelings. So that's why I be careful what I do with my stepchild, because it's like, I'm not going to lie on you. You did it, you did it. I'm not going to exaggerate the truth. You did it, you did it. And I just feel like my stepchild, for having vengeance on me for the things that you done, and then making your mother feel a way about me, it's a problem to me, because it's like, what did I do wrong? But tell on you. And then once you get your ass whooped, you feel like it's my fault that you got your ass whooped, that you create an argument between me and your mother. And it's fucked up, because I would give that child nothing. I would give that child a shirt off my back. She was standing in the middle of the street, going down the street. I would pick her up, because you should not be walking. Me and my ex, we found a kid walking on the side of the road with a bicycle, trying to take her mother to groceries. I don't know why her mother sent her out there, but her mother sent her out there, and she was trying on the little bicycle that you get from DC. And um, we picked her up, and I told, before we even pulled off, I said, "Call your mother. Tell your mother the make and model of my car. Tell your mother the tags of my car. Tell your mother where we're about to meet her." And we talked to her mother on the phone, because I don't kidnap nobody's kid. Even with washing a kid, I don't. When it's time to wash them, I wash your shoulders, I wash your chest. When it comes down to the private area, I tell you, show me your palm of your hand. And I laid a rag over top of their hand, and I showed them on my body what I want them to do to them, to wash their tail. I don't do anything that's inappropriate to any child. So I just feel like, with parenting, that, believe me when I say what I say, because I'm not doing anything to hurt your child, because I wouldn't want that done to me. Because I'm a firm believer. Treat people as you would want to be treated. And as a child, I didn't like how I was treated. So I'm not going to treat the next child disrespectfully or wrong, because I didn't like it done to me. What do you say, oh?
I don't know. Like, I'm just thinking about all of this, and I mean, I've been in different positions. Like, I've been the stepchild, um, I've been the step parent, I've been all of these things. And, if communication and understanding and everybody on the same page is not there, you're going to have problems. But I think the adults fail to realize is that the children have feelings too. You can't just bring someone in a home and be like, oh, well, this person is coming in, this is what it is, and you got to accept that. Like, I get it. Yeah, old school. A child needs to stay in a child's place. A child is to be seen, not heard. But I think a lot of times things are happening to children where we don't know, because we don't have that bond with them, because we tell them, oh, well, you're just a kid, you know, what you say don't matter. You do what I say do. And that's an issue for me. Um, yeah, that's a big problem for me. Like, we have to remember that kids have feelings. And we should consider their feelings, and their input should be important. I'm not saying let them make decisions for the household as a whole, but they should be heard. I think that's very important, especially coming from the person coming in to the home. And it's important for the child to see the person coming in and that parent on the same page. But that's pretty much all I have to say about it.
Well, to kind of piggyback off of what you were saying, I feel like it should be a even balance, a even amount of respect. As far as the step parent and the stepchild, and the other, the bio parent. I just feel like, you know, as the other parent, I don't think you should just come in a new relationship and stuff, dictating stuff to the child without even having a bond first. I feel like things take time. Like it comes with levels. Being a step parent comes with levels. You don't just come in and yeah, I'm about to be a disciplinary person and be firm and set all these new rules. It don't work that way because you're the one coming into somebody else's world. They're not in your world, you're in their world, so to speak, when it start off. So to be demanding your presence known as the step parent, I think some people should just back off a little bit. Just see how the waves move before you just jump in the water. See how the mom interacts with the child, because their dynamic is very important. You have to pay attention to if the child is obedient right away or not. Is this child a problem child? Because if that child is giving the bio parent hell, what makes you think you're special enough to not get hell from that step parent? I mean, oh my goodness, from that stepchild. Like it's a level. You have to balance it all out. Start with bonding with the child. Start with knowing um what they like, what they don't like, how they operate emotionally. You know what I'm saying? Are they the type of child that is outspoken or do they keep things inward? You know what I mean? Because every child you can't parent the same, even if it's two or three kids. Not every child is going to be affected the same way. You could beat a child and that child will cry for days and be so emotionally hurt because they got a beating, where another child wouldn't could care less if you hit them or not, because it doesn't phase them. They think everything is a joke. So you have to just be careful and be mindful of what's going on before you want to play step parent and start telling the child what to do. That's just my point of view on it. So
I think you got good point of view, smiles, and that was really really good because I had a couple of things to say, but you know
oh,
what? We ran into that. What's going on, Smiles?
Oh, no, no, no. I was listening to you.
Yeah, but we ran into the end of our show today, and we're gonna talk about this another time. If you got some more comments, if you want to hear more about your opinions on step parenting and co-parenting and with your ex or your spouse, you just let us know, and we can go right on to it.